Imagine yourself in the early 20th century, decked out in the military gear, marching towards the front lines of World War I. This war defined by grim, unyielding trench warfare. As you stand on the brink of history, the question looms, could you survive the harrowing ordeal of the trenches? To understand this, we first need to grasp the reality of trench warfare. Picture an expansive network of narrow dugouts stretching across Europe, filled with soldiers living, fighting, and enduring unimaginable hardships. These trenches were cold, muddy, and often infested with rats and lice. Disease was rampant, claiming as many lives as the enemy's bullets. Men lived in constant fear, often spending weeks on end in these squalid conditions, with sleep and food in short supply. Life in the trenches was dictated by a rigid routine. Mornings began with stand-to, where soldiers prepared for the threat of an enemy attack. After this tense start, there might be breakfast, followed by chores or construction work. Afternoons were spent repairing damaged sections of the trench or maintaining weapons. All of this amid the ever-present threat of sniper fire and artillery barrages. Psychologically, trench warfare was as grueling as the physical demands. The constant bombardment, coupled with the loss of comrades, resulted in what we now recognize as PTSD, then known as shell shock. Survival meant not only keeping your body intact, but also preserving your mental state against the war's relentless pressure. Let's pause and consider the relentless dangers faced. The greatest, perhaps, was the gas attack. Introduced in 1915, chemical warfare introduced a new level of horror. Soldiers had to quickly don gas masks to avoid the lethal clouds of chlorine or mustard gas that could silently sweep through the trenches, searing lungs and blinding eyes. Another life-threatening event was the trench raid, a sudden, brutal assault where soldiers would charge across no man's land to attack enemy trenches. Such raids required immense bravery, with survival hinging on nerves of steel and a bit of luck. Amid these perils, some solace came in the form of camaraderie. The shared experience of trench life forged bonds between soldiers that were as strong as they were indispensable. These relationships were vital for maintaining morale, providing soldiers with a sense of connection amid the chaos and destruction. So, could you have survived trench warfare? It would require resilience beyond mere physical endurance. It demanded adaptability, courage, and perhaps most importantly, the ability to hold on to hope in seemingly hopeless circumstances. While history tells us of many who did endure and survive, it was a test of character and survival skills few had encountered before or since.